The Cranberries were one of the defining acts of the 90s, but behind the scenes, success took its toll on the band before a tragic loss changed everything forever. When most bands form, they dream of reaching the top of the music charts and becoming the greatest of all time, but not the Cranberries. Noel Hogan told You Discover Music that when he formed the band with his brother Mike Hogan and their friend Fergal Lawler, their ambitions were much more modest. If you thought Irish rock music, you thought U2, but that was way out of our reach. Coming from a small town in the south of Ireland, we thought no further than forming a band and playing a local club in front of a few friends if ever we got good enough. Really, we would have been content with that. Noel added that they didn't even know how to play guitar yet when they formed the band. But they had perseverance and a desire to learn, and it paid off for them in the end. It's impossible to think of the Cranberries without thinking of lead singer Dolores O'Riordan. Her vocals are so intertwined with the music that it wouldn't be the same if someone else were to sing these songs. But O'Riordan wasn't the first vocalist of the band. That honor belongs to Niall Quinn. While most fans probably don't know the name, Noel Hogan told Cryptic Rock that Quinn was a major influence on the band's development. A good thing about meeting Niall Quinn was he had experience in a band, and he kind of showed us how songs were structured and written. We actually had no idea. We bought instruments and started a band. We were really learning as we were going. Quinn only stayed with the band for a short period of time between August 1989 and March 1990. He left on good terms, though. He even made possibly his most important contribution to the band by recommending a new lead singer, O'Riordan. Hogan invited her to come try out with the band, and the rest is history.
So just set up a mic stand and keyboard and just kind of ran through some bits and pieces she had, and we just thought it was amazing.
In the world of British rock, the name Stephen Street is synonymous with the sound of many renowned bands. He collaborated with the Smiths as a sound engineer and producer, and worked with Morrissey after he left the Smiths and went solo. The Cranberries received the opportunity to work with Street on their debut album, Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We? Noel Hogan told Universal Audio that the experience changed the way they approached their music, and kickstarted a long-term collaboration between the band and producer, as Street forced them to push the boundaries of their songwriting. We did the first album in Dublin in 6 weeks. Stephen taught us how to really concentrate on the song, and not worry so much about all the decoration that goes on around it. Released in 1993, Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We? Proved to be the launching pad for major success. It peaked at number 18 on the Billboard 200 and delivered two of the band's most celebrated singles in the form of Dreams and Linger. From there, it was only onward and upward as the next two albums debuted higher on the charts. In a 2001 interview, though, O'Riordan revealed how with great success came great stress. When the band were really big and we had massive hits, I was always stressed out and insecure. I thought I wanted the band to be really popular, but when that happened, there was so much pressure to keep it going. O'Riordan explained that each new rung on the ladder of success brought with it additional pressures and anxiety. It was only after becoming a parent that she gained a different perspective on what mattered more to her in life. All of a sudden, she wasn't obsessed about what achievement is defined as in the music world and found a new sense of purpose and family. Linger was the band's first big breakout hit from Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We? The single sold over 500,000 units and was certified gold in 1994. Speaking to the Irish Times, O'Riordan explained that it was the first song the Cranberries wrote together. Noel Hogan said it probably had 4 of the 5 chords he could play at the time. In terms of the lyrics, it was inspired by a real-life romantic experience and subsequent rejection in O'Riordan's life. Despite the heartbreaking nature of the song, it was anything but heartbreaking for the band. Hogan said, "The magnitude of Linger's success was overwhelming. Michael Stipe came to the video shoot, and the next thing we knew, we were on tour with REM. I remember at this massive gig gazing out at 50,000 people and thinking, not so long ago I was sat in my parents' kitchen." Zombie is undoubtedly the band's biggest hit, and the most unlikely one. The song topped the charts in several countries, won awards, was sung at the Rugby World Cup, and was even covered by Bad Wolves. But the story behind it is powerful and dark. As O'Riordan revealed to Songwriting magazine, Zombie was written during the era of the violent troubles that plagued the United Kingdom, and was specifically about an incident where an IRA bomb strike claimed the lives of 2 children. It was before the peace treaty, and there had been a lot of trouble. There were a lot of bombs going off in London, and I remember this one time a child was killed when a bomb was put in a rubbish bin. That's why there's that line in the song, "A child is slowly taken." O'Riordan was deeply impacted by the tragedy, and the anthem was birthed as an anti-war protest song. In 1995, at the peak of their popularity, the Cranberries set out to perform a free concert on the grounds of the Washington Monument. 3,000 people were expected. 10,000 showed up. The crowd got riled up as they waited over half an hour for the Cranberries to start. Finally, the band hit the stage, but it didn't last. Not long after the Irish rock band kicked into its second track, Linger, fans tried to climb onto the stage. The Cranberries halted their performance, and an MC asked the audience to step back. Most did, but the police determined it wasn't safe to continue, and the band was forced to abandon the concert and leave the venue. The crowd didn't react kindly to the news. More police officers were called to defuse the situation as members of the audience threw rocks at the authorities, trashed the venue, and even stole a custom guitar. In 1996, the Cranberries were scorching hot, with their albums selling fast and the demand to see them on their world tour at an all-time high. Behind the scenes, though, O'Riordan struggled, both emotionally and physically. She told The Telegraph that there was never a chance to rest and catch her breath, even though she desperately wanted to stop. There was a hell of a lot of pressure because if I canceled the tour, it was going to cost something like £6 to £10 million. So basically, it was like, you'll be okay, you can do it, you're not sick. In a separate interview with the Irish Times, O'Riordan revealed that she was warned she couldn't cancel the tour because they had signed contracts. But with her physical and mental health deteriorating, she made the decision to stop the tour anyway, despite being unsure if she would ever have the chance to perform again. When O'Riordan broke the news to her bandmates, though, they supported her completely, as they were also feeling the toll on their personal lives. By the turn of the century, the Cranberries, as well as many other successful musicians from the 90s, lost traction among the general audience. But even as the charts were dominated by new names like Limp Bizkit and Coldplay, the Cranberries continued to release new music, and in October 2001, they put out the record Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. One of the first singles from the album was Analyse. The Analyse video was released around the time of the 9/11 attacks, and it was quickly pulled from rotation on the music channels due to potentially triggering scenes in the video. Speaking to Irish America in 2002, Cranberries drummer Fergal Lawler explained, "VH1 had just started airing it when 9/11 happened. It had a lot of modern structures. Some of them looked like the Twin Towers and a lot of airplanes. It was just coincidence, really." A different version of the music video was created and released with the planes removed. According to Lawler, the band hadn't been happy with the original video in the first place, believing it to not connect with the actual song, so the decision to redo it wasn't a difficult one. As interest in the Cranberries grew, so too did the fascination around O'Riordan. As the face of the band, she became a celebrity, whether she liked it or not. Already uncomfortable with the rapid rise in the band's fame, she also struggled with the constant attention on her own personal life. She told the Irish Times in 1999 that she couldn't fathom why she was being photographed at everything from the supermarket to her grandmother's funeral, or why publications were spreading false information about her life. O'Riordan also revealed how she made herself public enemy #1 after she walked out of an interview one time. "Then I just said, I'm not doing any press again, so I didn't have an opportunity to explain why I walked out of an interview, and when you don't do press, the rumors just start flying. People used to go on about my money all the time and where I was living and what I wore."
It's kind of like if you're an intelligent woman and you've got a beautiful voice, there's all these stupid people who don't know how to handle you.
On January 15, 2018, tragedy struck when O'Riordan died after drowning in the bath of her Park Lane Hilton hotel room. She was 46 years old. The news sent shockwaves throughout the music industry as fans, peers, and other figures paid tribute. Attention soon turned to the surviving members of the band. Media and fans alike wondered if the Cranberries would continue with a new singer. After all, it wouldn't be the first time that a popular band found a replacement for a vocalist who's passed away. But Lawler shot the idea down immediately, telling The Telegraph, "We're not going to be getting another singer and doing the Queen thing. No way. No way."
Dolores was like a massive, massive part of this band.
Sadly, the Cranberries understood that the band died with O'Riordan, though their timeless songs will no doubt live on forever. At the time of the singer's death, O'Riordan was set to join the rest of her bandmates to record a new album. The band had already received vocal demos from her, and were about to enter the studio to lay down the record when tragedy struck. But it wasn't the end of the album. Noel Hogan explained to Music Radar that at O'Riordan's funeral, her brother broached the topic. Hogan admitted that he hadn't been able to listen to the demos yet because of the rawness of the event, but O'Riordan's brother expressed how important the album was to his sister before her passing. After consulting with longtime producer Stephen Street, the band decided they would try to complete the album, and it turned out to be a cathartic decision. Hogan said, "In hindsight, I guess doing the album when we did, it was almost like therapy for us. We realized that this is how it's going to be, so I think it was right to do it when we did. If we were going in a year or two later, I don't think it would feel the same, and we might not even do the album."
There was just something about it, there was something there that we felt that it was something Dolores would want to do.
Hogan added that it wasn't easy to record the music, as the bandmates became emotional whenever they would hear O'Riordan's voice, and often had to recompose themselves. The album, titled In the End, was released in April 2019, which earned the Cranberries their one and only Grammy Award nomination for Best Rock Album.